What's up, everybody? What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Fun, 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 your podcast, my podcast about fun for you, where we take fun very seriously. With me, as always, is... Wait a minute. Oh, I forgot. I didn't realize... It's this new thing he's doing now, that whenever I need him, I have to, hold on. Nathan.
And the juice is loose.
Oh my gosh.
That's good.
Is this what I'm going to have to do every time I text you now? Every time I call you? Like, how long is this going to go?
I have to text you 3 times to get you to respond, so it might as well work both ways.
Well, I have a disease, a mental disease.
Yeah, that's true. So. That's true. Valid point.
No, I'll take that.
I'll send you pictures of Beetlejuice until you respond.
Hey, it looks like you're sipping something. I also have something to sip on.
What are you sipping on? I'm sipping on an adult beverage.
Are you?
It's Tasty Cake Coffee Cake Ale.
No. Well,
don't act like you're better than me with what you're drinking.
Well, people don't even, like, half of the people watching this don't even know what a Tasty Cake is because they're not from the Northeast. That's the first problem, although they do have global distribution now. Mm-hmm. How is it?
So I was hoping for more of a coffee cake vibe, and I'm getting, this is Victory, by the way, as a company, and I'm getting more of the cinnamon pound cake. But this is the second one I've had, and I've succumbed to the idea that it's very much coffee cake instead of coffee flavored with cake notes. So it wasn't what I thought going in, but I don't hate it. But it's very much a dessert beer. One and done for me.
Okay.
Oh boy, too much.
So you just won in the evening. Is it okay? Because I don't drink beer. I don't drink coffee. Is it the equivalent of like going to Dunkin' during crumb cake syrup season and getting like a crumb cake like latte? You drinking a crumb cake?
I don't think so. I mean, in the same way that like I have pumpkin ale because I'm getting into the fall season.
Yeah, but I guess what I'm asking is, do they flavor beer in the same artificial sort of way that they do coffee creamers and like?
I kind of feel like it's generally more because it's a good company will be like, for example, the cinnamon in this is like mixed into the batch. Like it's when it's brewing and yeasting, right? Opposed to just adding like some essence of something at the end. I mean, I think people get away. You are definitely going to have something that is going to smell more like a taste than taste like it, I think. Because that's a very big,
sure. Let me introduce my beverage. Let me introduce mine. I have Oreo Coke Zero. Now, I want to just say the bravery of the Coke company to not put Oreo flavoring into the full sugar version of Coca-Cola. It is just a Coke Zero thing, I believe. There is no full sugar Oreo Coke.
Panera Bread has the copyright on drinks that kill you.
Right. And Four Loko. Panera Bread and Four Loko.
Can you imagine?
But
I'm very excited for the new Panera Bread Four Loko soup bowl. It's coming. It's going to be very
lemonade
good.
Coming soon. It'll kill you, but you'll get a lot of work done right before you go. So I like that you said that I'm going to smell it more than I'm going to taste it, which you're totally right. I'm almost like, well, I'm trying to get rid of soda by and large in my life, especially bottled soda, because it's just not right. It's just not right. It's just not right with God. I'm also on the fence with canned soda.
It doesn't count. It's Coke Zero.
Right. It doesn't count. But where I'm at now is like a fountain soda. I'm a fountain soda purist. I'm kind of entering that era. I want like they overcarbonate these things now. They overdo it when in the bottles and the cans. I want like the gas station, movie theater fountain where like the flavor is there, but it's more of a tonic water or club soda. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's got like more liquid and the bubbles have more space. You know what I mean? It's like gorillas in a habitat versus gorillas in your living room, or like that mist. Chimp Crazy. Are you in on Chimp Crazy?
No, but I know what you're talking about. I can't watch everything.
Dude, you got to get on Chimp Crazy, man. I was riding the train.
The chimp train? Choo-choo?
But this is just chocolate flavored soda is what it is. Right? It just...
so let's be clear. You've not had a sip of this yet, correct?
No, but I have it smells like.
By the way, we're doing such a great job at content in the sense that like you're doing it now and not like last week, you know, when this came out.
When it first came out? No.
No, I think it's much smarter to do it this way because it's
don't be first on the scene, be the best is what I always say.
Well, the refined palate. Yeah.
Okay, because Okay. It tastes and smells both like your mouth tastes after you eat an Oreo.
But it doesn't taste like an Oreo.
The flavor of an Oreo. It's like the flavor of Oreo spit that's left in your mouth as you're cleaning your teeth with from the Oreo bits. You're debriefing your teeth, you know?
Now, what I have been told already by people is that what you are holding is not as good as the mini canned version because they add more carbonation to the bottle because it leaks in a different way than the can leaks carbonation. That's what I was told. So possibly it's better. Here's the other thing. 7-Eleven has a Slurpee version of this, which is a must. I got to try that still. But
you know, it's like if there was a
Stay right there. Hold on.
Okay. If there was like I just did a Hershey Park's Dark Night, so I just smelled a lot of fake smells, and it's like if they had like an Oreo themed haunted house and like they had to put like smoke, juice, stink, you know, in the machine, they would choose whatever combination of stink that they did for this Oreo.
Because over here in my household, you have space Oreos. These have Pop Rocks in them, right? Yes, ma'am. They do.
Whoa. Hey, this is a great lead-in. I just want to say, Coke Zero, Tasty Cakes, Oreos. Whoa, it's the Sith Oreo. I didn't realize that.
There can only be two, right? Sith.
So what I do when I eat Oreos is I do what you just did. I separate them, and then I will eat the bare cookie, right?
Okay.
And then I will set the other cookie aside. And then I will choose a new cookie, right? And I will put it through the same test, if you will. And then I will eat the next bare cookie, right?
So here's what I'm
curious about. And then I will marry the two stuffed cookie pieces.
Okay.
To form my own home-brewed double stuff, you know?
Oh.
You know, because people stop double stuffing once Oreo double stuff, but it's really like 1.25 stuffed. It's not truly double stuffed, you know?
Of course.
But then I'm not done. Once I'm done there, I then try the test again.
Okay.
And if a cookie releases clean, I eat that cookie and I begin the process again until I hit a wall where I have like 10 to 15 cookie creams sandwiched between just two cookies. And then I take that one huge Oreo and I just put it back in the package and seal it and then put it on the shelf. And I wait.
Like for death? Or...
No, I wait for the inevitable. Dad!
Amazing.
What is this? What did you do? You did it again. Just eat Oreos normal, Dad.
Stop making epic Oreos.
So
here's the thing about this, though, right?
Tell me.
This is Coke flavored Oreo opposed to what you had, which is Oreo flavored Coke.
Wait. No, but I feel like that's a lie.
No,
that the Coke flavored part of it is just the sizzle.
No. There is a. So I don't know if this is any different than this theoretically. Like, is this going to taste like Coca-Cola while this is just Oreo?
I think the flavor's all in the cream. It's not in the biscuit at all. Because they have different colored Oreos. You know, they have white Oreo, they have black Oreo.
Bitch, I know my Oreos. All right,
okay.
Calm down.
Jesus.
All right. Fair. It's the same.
Jesus Christmas.
So what I would say is it's a caramelized. Great audio, by the way. Here, let me give full popping sound to the audience.
Let me say this, though. The second best thing about... I'm listening. I can't hear it. The second best thing about eating an Oreo is the flavor of an Oreo that's left in your mouth after you eat it. You know, so like to that, I have to give it its due. I don't know. I have to give it its due. I've also adopted the policy that if I drink a bottled cola, lid off, lid stays off. Lid doesn't go back on to decarbonate as much as possible.
Yeah. I liked it. You know? I certainly liked the Oreo better this morning because I had a little bit last night. Oh, this might be. I don't know.
Oh, I hear it. I heard it.
There you go.
Enhance it CSI version.
I just swallowed my microphone.
Turn up the decibels to plus 12.
Anyway.
Or I guess if Nathan doesn't do that in post, you just go back as a listener and you just do it yourself in the car.
Yeah, I'm not going to do it. So
you just turn it up real loud.
Figure it out if you really want to hear my mouth noises. Well, it certainly isn't good to have one of those like while you're trying to do audio because now I'm still like clicking away over here in my mouth. I would say that the Oreos are better. It's more of a caramelized. There's a caramelized. I think both these products taste like the aftermath of the product,
right?
Which is like, I don't know.
Well, cheers.
Cheers. We'll touch our Oreos.
Touch our Oreos. There you go. Hey, I loved our Thomas the Tank episode retrospective on my evolution, and since we're talking about black and white brands like Oreo and Coke Zero, let's dive into. People saw the thumbnail. They saw the title of the episode. They know what they're here for. Let's talk about Beetlejuice. Because I think there's some fun stuff to talk about.
Let's say as much as we want. The gag is overrun. Like, we could act like we're only going to say the name Beetlejuice 3 times.
I say it 47 times in the episode.
Yeah.
I made a conscious decision not to go back and make it a number divisible by 3 because I was like, I could go back in and add another Beetlejuice.
When I was sick, I did a fairly good job at. I was really getting right there. There, you can kind of get it. Oh yeah,
I bet you've got it. Yeah,
it's pretty good right there. I'm pretty happy with that right there. Not too bad.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
So it's not as good as it was when I had COVID. COVID gets you that real death.
Oh yeah, the death rattle. Yeah.
It's right
You're
there.
on death's door.
You got it right there.
It's crazy. The whole character of Beetlejuice, by and large, is a creation of Michael Keaton, which I had no idea about. He dreamed it up. Like he dreamed up a lot
man. What an incredible man that Michael Keaton.
Truly. And like when you really watch interviews with him and you kind of drink in the Michael Keaton of it all, and then you go back and watch the first movie again, you're like, oh yeah. He's just a crazy man. And he is. And
it's like
God bless him.
It's like when I don't know. I'm trying to think of a good example. It's like when there's a clown, but like when he doesn't have his face paint on, he's sort of
right
his thing. But man, when you let Keaton put on Beetlejuice, he goes full Looney Tune.
Truly. Yeah, he becomes a cartoon character. It is kind of bananas.
It's incredible. It's incredible. And what is even more incredible, and we're going to get into this, I think, is how both movies are kind of okay. That's my opinion.
Yeah.
We'll get into it.
Oh yeah, for sure.
It's weird that way. Well, there's lots to talk about. But when did you grow up with Beetlejuice? Were you a Beetlejuice household?
Yeah, I did grow up with Beetlejuice. I had a strong aversion of shrimp cocktails. I still kind of do. I don't shrimp cocktail to this day, honest to God.
How are you with Harry Belafonte? Is he okay?
Harry Belafonte's great, man. Long live Harry Belafonte. And I love watching it. I love watching old music videos, which is just the guy singing, You know, that's all old music videos were. It's great. It's great to go back and revisit. Yeah, I was a big Beetlejuice guy. I loved Beetlejuice, and I think about it a lot. And it's like it's the Jurassic Park of it all. It's like it's a entry into a larger catalog that usually is inaccessible to families, but we remove the human on human violence aspect of it, and what we're left with is gore and extreme visuals and like a very visceral plot, but the lack of like male violence removes the reason why we don't watch it as a family. You know what I mean? Like, if Beetlejuice was stabbing people and if Beetlejuice was, like it would be a completely different movie, but it's an accessible piece of the genre for a family. And
beyond all the sexual harassment, but yeah, for sure.
Well, sure. Yeah.
My man's on a Pepe Le Pew kick. At best.
Yeah, but back in the day, that's what it was, It was Pepe Le Pew,
It's true.
He really is this like the definition of like the toxic patriarchy.
An absolute scumbag.
Like, he is just scumbag. And it's delightful. And I just watched the film for a second time with my kids, the new one.
The new one? Okay.
And he does a crucifix in a moment and bursts into flames. And I didn't catch it in the first watch through, but the second time I caught that he does a little mini crucifix, boom, and like it's just like he truly is the scummiest scumbag of all time. And we'll get into talking about the new movie. I'm sure, but
were you a kid that liked getting spooked? Were you a spooked kid? Could you?
No.
So Beetlejuice was enough Looney Tunes for you, but a little spooky.
Yeah. Beetlejuice is more in the vein of Mask than The Purge. Like if you're going to go two directions with a mask type of.
I assume you mean The Mask with Jim Carrey and not Mask starring Cher.
Yes, with the Cher vehicle. Yeah, no, bro. No, bro. Nathan needs help, guys. Someone send Nathan help. And also not the Leonardo DiCaprio Man in the Iron Mask.
Not the Man in the Iron Mask either. Okay, just so
Jeremy Irons.
Jeremy Irons Mask. Okay. That's interesting. I was a Jesus-y boy.
Super Jesus-y here.
But not a lot. None of this demon stuff coming out at my house. Because watch Beetlejuice.
No Beetlejuice because Beetlejuice is a demon.
I mean, we didn't have a conversation about it. I just knew that I was not allowed to watch Beetlejuice. Like, if it's spiritual, but in any sort of realm.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
But not a part of. I don't know. Like, if it's not going to keep me on the straight path, then it's too spooky, right? It's too.
Sure. I grew up in a Christian household that I couldn't read Harry Potter.
Oh, interesting. But you could watch Beetlejuice. Huh.
Yeah, because Beetlejuice was,
Well, the reason for that is because our parents made up the rules as they went, and
absolutely, yeah. And Beetlejuice is also a piece of mainstream media that was syndicated by the time I was,
that's true. Did you see it first on television?
Absolutely, yeah. I didn't see it.
Okay, so even probably an
came
even
out
more
in 1988. Down. I was 1 year old.
Well, I know that, but I'm just saying, I didn't know if you saw it on a rental,
yeah. My exposure to Beetlejuice at first was with commercial breaks.
Okay, and no nice effing model. We're cutting out some of the harsher elements.
Yeah, I watched the movie. I watched the TV cut. Yeah, the syndication cut.
Oh, man. I knew TV cuts. I remember seeing TV cuts of films and watching them so much as a kid that and then coming back and realizing that there's deleted scenes that I love in that they're not in it because they just add it because they need more time or whatever.
More time. Yeah.
So
and
weird.
You're completely unaware. Right. Well, it's so
children have no idea about now.
Nothing. No context whatsoever. And some of us watched movies that were TV aired exclusively because that's where our families taped them on a VCR. So we had like, like Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, or like whatever it is, bed knobs and broomsticks. Like it was the VHS of it, but it was a 3.5 hour VHS because it also had commercial breaks in it.
Oh,
but
so you did the commercial breaks. You were
you taped the whole thing. Right?
See,
like
if I was watching
fast forward through the commercial breaks, through them.
If I was watching it with my family, I would quick draw McGraw the scenario. I'd be like, boom, like here we are at the pause, but then you forget, and then you can.
That's the difference between you and
me.
Right. Yeah. That's, I can't, I would forget. So, but it's stuff like that. It's people like that. It's why we have so many preserved commercials these days, because people just taped
100%.
blocks of television, blocks of television.
God bless them for it. It's good.
Yeah.
Speaking of
my
things that were on
TV.
TV.
Oh,
no, we got to
TV.
talk about the first movie before we talk about the cartoon. We got to talk about the movie. I forgot all about it.
Yeah, the movie's great. It's a classic. Everyone's seen it. Everyone's got their opinion of it. It's just so good. We just did talk about it. We talked about how it's, visceral, horror without male violence. Like, think about the difference between what's the threshold where it starts to become intolerable for people.
Right. What I like about Beetlejuice is what I don't. I mean, it's not that surprising, but it was what I don't like about Beetlejuice. I do like that it's very centered on some people that I like. Like they're decent folk, kind of boring folk, but decent folk. And you're coming from it as we're also ghost perspective. We'll talk about how that kind of affects the next one, but for sure. I like Alec Baldwin in I'm forgetting.
Janine, not Janine Garofalo.
Janine Garofalo. Can you imagine? How lucky would we be? Right?
The bowler. That's a mystery man.
The bowler
reference.
herself. Yeah. Don't get me angry.
Man, I love Mystery Men. Let's just do a whole episode of Mystery Men one day.
Jeannie, you got me going. Gina Davis.
Not Janine Garofalo. I was close.
There's no crying in baseball. Gina Davis.
Yeah. Right. No crying in baseball. Yeah, they're really simple folks, and they just seemed like really quaint, like Bluey's parents. Like they were just they were just doing their best.
Couple of sweethearts, couple of really hot people.
What is it, a goose or something? Why do they fall off the bridge?
They almost hit a dog.
They are
goose. Dangling. They're dangling. They crashed through the covered bridge. But did you grow up with a covered bridge in your life? I had a covered bridge.
Absolutely. There's
life.
7 around here. Like there's tons of them in BA.
It's great. I love it.
Yeah.
Never died because of one though.
I've seen covered bridges that have been crashed. Obvious signs of repair after they've been damaged. This one, the most pristine covered bridge I've ever seen after killing 2 people.
Almost like the town wanted him dead. I'm just saying.
Right.
Hey, can we talk about for a minute how he owns the tool store? But I always thought he just ran into a store and got what he wanted and left money. I always just assumed he was, because it's a quaint little town, you can just leave the money. It was like the last watch that I was like
a Gilmore Girls.
His name. Yeah. I was like, it's Maitland. It's their tool
I'll be honest
place.
with you. It wasn't until the Beetlejuice musical that I really logged Barbara and Adam Maitland. So
the juicicle.
That they were called the Maitlands.
The Maitlands, yes. They have a really nice story. Like they do a whole thing about wanting to have kids.
They
and
do,
and they end up being able to love a kid, and it's cool.
Yeah, I feel weirdly robbed. I feel like there is I don't need to keep diverging, but I feel like there is an abandoned version of Beetlejuice, like the skeleton of it's there, where Adam and Barbara Maitland were still very much in her life in a frightened her situation, haunting houses for her to make her television show. It's clearly set up in the beginning of the movie. She goes into the bathroom. There's a woman with a knife stuck in her face. She's like, Barbara, not today, or whatever. You know what I mean? Or not Barbara, but Sally, not today. Like there. I don't know if you've seen The Frighteners, but there's this clear kind of vibe of I'm working with ghosts to make a living now. And it felt like all of that got squashed when like Alec Baldwin killed a woman or something. Like, I don't know. Or Alec Baldwin was Trump and became like too divisive of a character to put in this tentpole friend. Whatever it was that ruined the Maitlands.
We've got to be very clear about this. Gina Davis is not the issue. Gina Davis is a goddess. We love her. She doesn't act as much as she used to. She's totally doing her own thing. She's done like lots of work for like women
CBS.
in film. Like,
she's on a bunch of CBS shows.
Yeah,
like
but
Madam
her whole
Secretary and stuff.
She like has like the Gina Davis Research Center or something about like women in media. Like it's all about data about making sure women have jobs in media. Like it's just amazing work.
Gina Davis is dope, y'all. Is all,
yeah,
all we're
really
saying.
Is. Here's the thing, though. The Alec Baldwin that exists in Beetlejuice does not exist anymore.
No.
Do you know what I mean?
No, it doesn't.
I get
it
the
doesn't.
other problem, and I'm sure, and I think Gina Davis actually mentioned this. She's like, well, we can't look like we did, and ghosts don't age, and so you would have to do a lot of stuff there if you want to really think about it.
Well, I will say that the new movie and the old movie are such visceral. I keep using that word, but I don't know what other word to use. It's like this like very
stuff. Things are made.
Tactile, right. And so
it's what movies should be.
Right. But to give them a cameo where they're like stuck back in their weird faces and they're doing like a class.
Oh yeah,
with
that'd
people,
be cute. That's a great way of doing
being
it.
like doing something like Monsters Inc. style, or like I don't know, like we could have done.
We'll talk about. We'll get to Beetlejuice. So
but there's just so much special effects makeup in this movie, in all the movies, that there could have been flattened Maitlands. Like, oh, we got steamrolled by accident. We're gonna get reinflated next month, or what? Like, whatever it could have been.
Yeah, we'll have a long
something. Alec Baldwin ruined it all. That's all I'm saying. Like he ruined the Maitlands cameo.
But like, do you really want?
I kind of did. And I gotta say they handled the Jeffrey.
We'll talk about it. It.
Okay. Sorry. Let's talk about the Beetlejuice episode.
Let's. Okay. So, you had to dive deep a little bit into the cartoon because you were talking about Beetlejuice stuff.
Yeah.
Did you watch the cartoon when you were growing up?
Oh yeah, I completely forgot it. I disassociated most of my childhood, but this like came rushing back the minute I watched the intro to it. Such an incredible cartoon. Probably one of the best cartoons of the day. And like a proto like Family Guy, Rick and Morty. Like it is a gag central kind of like, but like, pop culture, like Aladdin genie kind of gags, like such a fun show that has all the space for an adult audience as much as it does a kid audience watching it. It was the Bluey of its time, if you will.
Are you saying the Beetlejuice cartoon was the Okay, here's the problem I have a little bit with it in general is this is something that I see in the Broadway show too, which we'll talk about a little bit. There are two very dynamically different Beetlejuices. There is horny Beetlejuice, and then there is this like friend buddy of Lydia Beetlejuice, and they are not the same people. But I mean, it works. It works.
Right. Well, the horny Beetlejuice is all of his energy directed at the Maitlands, in and around the Maitlands, and the manipulative, scheming Beetlejuice is the Lydia Beetlejuice.
Yeah.
Like he's on two different journeys with. He intersects differently in those two storylines.
I'm just saying certain millennials married their first husbands because of this show in some way, and it was a bad idea. That's all I'm saying. It's like this.
Well, and the other thing, you make such an interesting argument bringing that up to say that there are these two different Beetlejuices and stuff. It's so interesting how in media and theme parks do this a lot. Is like we take a golden moment of the character's existence in a timeline, like a moment in which Lydia and Beetlejuice were friendly to each other. You know what I mean? Like, oh, I need his help. Oh, we're gonna work together. Don't worry. Okay, now let's trap the entire storyline of this cartoon, like all cartoons are stuck in time. This is stuck in time in the blink of an eye, in which Beetlejuice and Lydia work together, and that's just the thing they ran with, and it's the alternate timeline where
and they kind of do. I mean, again, we'll get into Beetlejuice, but like they kind of allow that element to also kind of happen. Like the third act is very much them like, okay, well, we're going to have to work together here to make this thing. You help me, I'll help you. Let's do this thing. So, it's an interesting kind of understanding that you can kind of do both. And also because you can't just be squeezing booties now on screen and be the rapscallion that,
I know.
You could kind of mix it up a little bit. I want to talk about the lineup of the 1989 ABC cartoon lineup. When this was Beetlejuice, New Kids on the Block cartoon, Wizard of Oz, Bugs Bunny, which I'm sure was just the classics. They did that in syndication for Looney Tunes for like decades.
And
it was great. I loved it. And then Little Rosie. Do you remember Little Rosie?
Little Rosie is not something I remember.
Little Rosie was about little Roseanne Barr, voiced by little Roseanne Barr.
Right. Yeah.
It was basically Life with Louie, but with Roseanne. I don't know if you remember Life with Louie.
Right. And they also did the same thing with Bobby's World.
Of course.
Yeah.
Bobby
my
Moynihan.
gosh, that would be such an interesting video essay. The autobiographical cartoon. Because it's coming back now with Ferrell, Lego. Ferrell is like Pharrell. Sorry, not Ferrell. Geez, not Will Ferrell. Pharrell
in the streets, Ferrell in the sheets, if you know what I mean.
Right. Yeah, it's coming back.
That's interesting.
Yeah, that lineup. And also Disney World Winnie the Pooh was also in that lineup.
Of course,
Disney World Tigger
always.
and Eeyore. Because that cartoon was huge. Huge. It's really quite wild, this lineup of ABC cartoons. It's totally a product of its time, but it is bizarrely ahead of its time in the same way, in that this is exactly what Fortnite is now. Like I make the joke in the video, but like this ABC cartoon was the first Fortnite, what a lineup of like characters that you would never in a million years see together on a touring show now. You know what I mean? Like without 100%. You paying $250 a ticket, because that's how much of the slice everyone needs, you know?
And Beetlejuice sets up fairly early a concept that we're going to see happen a lot in morning shows, Saturday morning cartoons, which is PG-13 comedies for inexplicable reasons transformed into cartoons.
Men in Black, baby. Men in Black,
which kind of makes sense, but the Mask.
The Mask?
In 1 year, I think The Mask, Dumb and Dumber, and there was a third. What was the other Jim Carrey one? There was another one that I was just thinking about the other day.
Ace Ventura?
Yes, Ace Ventura. They were all cartoons. All three. Can you believe it?
2 really great video ideas. Essay ideas right here.
This is why we do this.
Yeah. Cartoon, PG-13, raunchy movies. Not necessarily raunchy, but in the vein. And those worms and Men in Black were horny.
Yes.
All right, raunchy movies.
I should give credit where credit's due. Before Beetlejuice, there was also RoboCop, and there was a Rambo. So,
right.
There's a big list.
And everyone remembers live-action Care Bears before the original cartoon.
Boy. Yeah, whoa,
It was just bears eating people. They changed it up. They changed
a little
It's
bit.
different now.
Just a bit. Just a bit.
Yeah, wow. Yeah, that is an interesting, like...
I got you thinking now.
Yeah, you do. You got me thinking.
All right, let's talk about theme parks. Because
I want to start...
You and me? I want to start with a story that you've told me about a recent experience with the Juice.
Oh my gosh, yeah. I was just at an Orlando Informer event, hanging out. It's awesome, by the way. Going to these Orlando Informer events, you just like have full run of both Universal parks. And we were just walking through a very empty Hollywood Boulevard, dimly lit. Like it was like late. It was like 12:30, and just sitting on the park bench by himself in front of the horror makeup show was Beetlejuice, just the juice, just sitting there. I'm like, BJ, is that you? He's like, what's up? And then he immediately like grabs my girlfriend's hand and like pulls her down on the bench and like puts his arm around her, sits up next to her, starts rubbing her shoulders. He was like, hey. It was bananas, all while telling me to go see his movie September 9th. Because he's like, Papa needs a new car or something. He was saying all kinds of wild stuff. It was so funny. It was such a moment. And the Beetlejuice character kind of exists like that at Universal Studios. He kind of transcends any other character. He is. Yeah. Everyone's like, oh, Deadpool's at Disneyland. It's so meta. It's so fourth wall breaking. Come on, baby. Universal has been doing this bit with a walk around character since 1990 is, I believe, when he first appeared in the parks. So like it's this like he has full permission. Like if we had a walk around blue painted Aladdin genie, like character, like that just hung out near the carpet ride, like he would have the same sort of level of like talk to the people about their iPhones, like just whatever. He like it, you know, the juice is the juice, you know?
Yeah. And I
love him.
What's so crazy is I almost want to give him the most credit for the legacy of Beetlejuice. I know that like you could make a movie with, but like talk about keeping somebody like in everyone's brains, you know, like it just this constant, oh yeah, Beetlejuice. And like to a point, it's that horror. It's that visceral, like jump scare kind of horror that like the original movie was, like from the carousel to like the snake banister, you know, to like the bride and groom, like when they're all like sucked of their goo. You know, like it's just a very like stamp your brain kind of movie. You know what I mean? Yeah, and he just he's been keeping it consistent at Universal Parks ever since. What I think is interesting too is like he would have been one of the newer characters when he came out, because you got to remember back in '90, like Universal still had we have Lucy and the Marx Brothers and Laurel and Hardy, and like that's what we do. And like then you're bringing out this guy who's like can mess around the same way those characters could mess around, but like was this kind of new hot kid on the street. And like now I mean, who's the Mickey Mouse of Universal if not, I mean, I guess maybe E.T., but like it's Beetlejuice. Like it's definitely Beetlejuice. It's the juice. Easily. It's his like they want it to be Minions and Shrek and Trolls now, but like quite honestly, he's been a pretty good legacy character. I mean, the fact that Beetlejuice himself hosts a VHS promo that was like mailed to homes to get you to book your vacation. Like Beetlejuice was what's her name on the channel on the Disney Hotel? Stacey Abrams. No, I don't think it was Stacey Abrams. Not Stacey Abrams? No, she's J.J. Abrams. It was J.J. Abrams. Laura Loomer. I don't know what. Yeah. Can you imagine? Hey, it's the Disney Beat with Laura Loomer. Get Trump's girlfriend. Get your tickets to Tron Coaster, and if you don't, you're a big cuck. This is me, Laura Loomer for the Disney Beat. Huh? We can't say that. We can say cuck. My in-laws listen to this, man. They need. Hey, in-laws, you gotta turn on NPR or something, because this is. Trump's in trouble. Yeah, he's a mess. Not gonna work. Yeah, he's so funny. Anyway, one might say, look, I hate to get political, but one might say the Donald has got a little bit of that juice energy. Just saying. You know what? Donald Trump is definitely a proto Beetlejuice. You know what I mean? Like, proto Beetlejuice. He's every year he's a little more Beetlejuice, I think. Right. Yeah. If he was a vampire, if he was like a mortal, you know what I mean? And he got like into like the Crypt Keeper era of his life. Yeah. He'd be total Beetlejuice. Look, just stuff growing off him. All I'm saying is they're eating the dogs. They're eating the cats. That's all I'm saying. Anyway,
If there had just been some immigrants in the small town of the Maitland's home, there wouldn't have been that dog on the street.
That's a good point. Let's make sure that we're just so everyone's clear.
Still be with us.
Don't clip that out. Don't clip that out and cancel Dan. You can't do that to him.
I'm just saying we would still have the Maitlands.
We would still have the Maitlands if
the borders were open. Is I'm saying. So I guess
if only we had the wall, the Maitlands would.
No. I'm trying to make sense of this. I think that
you can't have the wall.
No, we can't have the wall.
No, that's the only way to save the Maitlands.
Yeah.
Jesus.
No. Yeah.
You've done a bad thing. This is bad. You've done a bad thing. So let me ask you about. We usually record in the afternoon. This is our first at in the evening, so we're punchy, everybody. Sure. Let's talk about the fact that Beetlejuice gets to hang out with the Ghostbusters and the Blues Brothers and Norman Bates. I love this kind of stuff. I love playing this way.
Well, you have to think about Universal in the context of 1990s. You have to think about what they were doing versus what Disney was doing, in that Disney had its own IP umbrella, but Universal was like, hey, we don't do like that. We're a distributor, so we are a license machine. And by that, you had, Jaws and E.T. and Men in Black, not back then, but you had all these not Dick Tracy. I can't think of a freaking single thing. Ghostbusters,
Alfred Hitchcock,
right. Norman Bates, the psycho of it all. You had these tent poles that made good money for Universal. Yeah. I mean, because they have the numbers. You know what I mean? They're cooking their own books when it comes to we know what characters are selling, get them in the parks.
Yeah, totally.
And so Universal by and large was Fortnite versus Disney's MCU of it all, and the continuity and the canon and character integrity. Universal character integrity. These are movies. Come hang out with movie characters. Nothing's real. Very nihilistic. Nothing matters. Nothing's real. Come hang out in our gumbo of weirdness over here. So weirdly, I just think the direction of the park dictated that, not necessarily. Because I think lots of brands would work really well together in the parks. I honest to God think that you could partner up Doctor Strange with a Jedi and have some really cool content in the parks if you thought about it.
If I could have Dr. Frankenstein and his monster, getting help, and Dr. Frankenstein getting help from actual minions, sign me up.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Like we talked about in the Olympics episode, minions just showing up and being weird in the middle of an Olympic ceremony.
Sign absolutely.
Me up.
Yeah, halfway through this werewolf roller coaster in Dark Universe at Epic Universe, if the minions are in one of the sheds,
we'd love it. We're for it.
If those purple werewolf minions are there,
yeah,
I'm fine with that.
Let's do it.
I don't have anything to say about that. I think that is great.
No, I think there should be
by the way,
one
Wolfman
minion per land. Yes,
the new.
We're not going to talk about that costume.
Blumhouse.
Yeah.
What a way to ruin your own movie by just revealing that the Wolfman that you likely don't get a clear image of. I'm thinking until the last 15 minutes, because it's clearly like a hillbilly man,
like a dirty old man.
You know what I mean, like a rabid hillbilly man, and not a wolf man, but just like the hills have eyes kind of thing.
Maybe, and we'll see what happens.
It removes a lot of tension from the movie if you just know it's like the Wolfman's here. Deliverance, Wolfman.
So what's weird is the chord you did was Ghostbusters.
I just stopped early, but they work together, I guess. Well, the Ghostbusters is just that. I guess I didn't realize.
You know what? I guess Huey Lewis needs to sue again because it's gonna sue those hillbillies. Anyway,
so I just think that he just is a really dynamic character that just works really well in narratives. He's fourth wall breaking like Deadpool, so he can enter any plot and interact with a character with its bits just seamlessly because he is the bridge between us and the entertainment narrative.
We're long overdue for. Let's talk about the future of Beetlejuice. We're long over for the parks. I mean, we're long overdue for a Beetlejuice ride.
By the way, the movie totally sets up Beetlejuice. But yes, we are very much overdue for a consistent thing.
Yes.
Fast and the Furious and Harry Potter really took away from us the monster review, over there in Universal. And I feel like at the very least, and it's just I think it's become a weird thing about character integrity because they rebooted the franchise. And so now everyone's like, and I'm sure like when Fast and the Furious caused the show to close, there was kind of like a sigh of relief because it's like, okay, great, we're about to start using this brand again, so we want to like, who knows what's going to happen, we need to tighten up ship and start relicensing or whatever it was, but he's such a great character and we need more of it. We need more of it.
I think that if you're going to take out Springfield, you put in Beetlejuice. I think that's the area you put it. Because I don't think you need an epic universe. You got your sort of swoopy, spooky area already taken care of. Islands has Jurassic Park, which I guess is technically the scary ride, as well as King Kong.
Hey, let me counter that and say, not a Beetlejuice ride, but how about a seasonal Beetlejuice layover, a la Nightmare Before Christmas in the Haunted Mansion. Imagine Beetlejuice taking over the Mummy, or Beetlejuice taking over Men in Black Alien Attack or something. Like I think it should
be Cat in the Hat because it's very chaotic anyway and a bad ride.
Perfect.
And so
honestly, perfect. The ride is already like a Lovecraftian horror.
Yeah.
Every time I ride it, I'm scared. Every time I ride it, I get terrified.
And like speakers just screaming at you. Words from Dr. Seuss.
And abandoned animatronic effects, kind of left. And nothing
and the
gives
dirt
me
on the ground. Oh.
Yeah, oh my gosh, everything's so dirty. And that one rug that moves itself.
What a scary ride. See? Perfect.
I love a Beetlejuice overlay of an attraction. I think and hey, we dressed up King Kong like Santa. And he said "ho ho ho" at one point in theme park history.
Do you know what really should happen? Here, I got your show. You ready for this little Okay, here you go. Ready?
Okay.
We're gonna have Patronuses in Harry Potter Land, and Slytherin tries to do a Patronus, and it's our man. It's our man. It's Beetlejuice coming out of nowhere, being a Patronus, just hanging out. I love it. In snake form?
Okay.
You love it. Let's do it. Come on, Universal. Let's have some fun.
Are you implying... Well, obviously, Beetlejuice is a Slytherin. Obviously.
Of course, obviously. He literally
and Beetlejuice, he probably speaks parcel tongue, too.
Oh, yeah.
That's another thing that we're sleeping on here, is that Beetlejuice clearly a descendant of Salazar Slytherin. So
of course. I mean, we get to know a little bit about his background at Beetlejuice. So he actually kind of fits. I mean,
what if you just have a Beetlejuice takeover and like it's Beetlejuice who pops up in the Jurassic Park ride and like knocks you off track? You know what I mean? It's Beetlejuice on rips off Oz.
The big T-Rex. Is that what you want? Just a big?
Oh, for sure.
But it has to be Hollywood, so it looks like shit. And it's just like, I'm Beetlejuice. Yep, juice is loose. Just kind of swings right out. Anyway.
Giant animatronics are terrifying, and a Michael Keaton one I don't think.
Could you imagine a Beetlejuice animatronic the size of a T-Rex? Oh my gosh, that's so scary. That's so scary.
And we don't necessarily have it here on in the script or the notes, but Beetlejuice was a ride with Gremlins. In Australia, which is another mashup. Gremlins didn't get its own cartoon. Interestingly enough,
well, it does now. Does it? Yes, it recently had a cartoon. The Secrets of the Mogwai or something like that.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Just recently,
didn't watch it.
It was on Max. Don't you watch Max?
I got advertised a Lord of the Rings anime before my Beetlejuice.
In theaters.
Did you see that?
Yep, I did, and I thought, who's this for? Who made this? For what reason?
Yeah.
Do you have a license? You have to have we reached that point where if you don't do something, it's going to regress to the Tolkien estate? Like, do you just need to get something out?
Yeah, I don't know. It's interesting. But they did the same with Rick and Morty.
That's true. That's true.
There's now an anime Rick and Morty, and everyone's like, did we ask for this?
Yeah. Who's this for? Okay, I want to talk about Halloween costumes because I think Beetlejuice has been a Halloween costume for
Disney Dan 15. Get 15% off your Halloween costume order at HalloweenCostumes.com.
We love it. We love it. Halloween costumes. If you want to sponsor Fun separately, we have so many people, and it's good.
We have many. There's many people.
There's many people.
There's a person. If you're listening to this right now, raise your hand. Look at how many people are raising their hand. Fun.com. Call us.
Hey, and guess what? Close your eyes.
Okay.
If you're feeling the spirit, now raise your hand. Okay. If you're not feeling the spirit. All right. I see that hand.
Christian trauma bleeds through every day.
I see that hand. Okay. I'm going to throw to you just a couple. I have only 3 here, but I really like them. Here is the first one. What do you think about kid Beetlejuices? Or Beetlejuice eyes? Are we... Oh, look! What a scamp! This is an official Beetlejuice, by the way.
Well, this is. Well, first off, I love that the name Beetlejuice is branded into the black
so you
stripe.
Were confused. This is not an inmate.
Yeah, not an inmate.
At an old timey.
Not
prison.
a boy in the striped pajamas.
No.
Nope.
Not
this. This is Beetlejuice.
This is Beetlejuice.
The headpiece is wild, but it's exactly what they do at Universal Studios, which is kind of funny.
Yeah.
The built-in wig into the skull cap. It doesn't look like they styled or fluffed that wig in any way, shape, or form. I don't know who photographed this.
People cannot decide if Beetlejuice has green hair or white hair. This is a consistent thing.
Hey, I just watched the movie and I couldn't figure it out because the lighting changes every scene, and what you're used to is a dynamically lit Beetlejuice and not a studio photographed Beetlejuice.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. You're not used to Beetlejuice out in the Orlando sun
portrait.
It's being photographed in New York next to a Studebaker or Studebaker.
What are those cars called? Studebaker?
Yeah, Studebaker.
You got me off. I do like that this is basically pajamas, and that is a fake tie shirt. I do appreciate that. I like that aspect.
Nathan, a lot of kids' Halloween costumes are just pajamas. I just gotta say,
it's kind of great.
It's secretly a pajama industry. Like with the cheap Halloween costumes. Yeah. It's just what the pajama business is just what they're doing during the daytime. You know what I mean? Like when the sun's out, they're making Halloween costumes, and at night they're making pajamas, like elves.
Yeah.
So, real rough stuff you can find at Walmart sometimes.
This guy is also giving me just a little bit of there's just a little bit of let's do the time warp again in that wig.
He is very Rocky
much.
Horror. Well, again, that's the wig. It's the wig. It's just terrible. Yeah, and also he looks like he suffered like an acid burn or something, not moss growth, but something's wrong with his skin.
Well,
it's a little unfortunate.
I do think that there is a bit of so maybe it's only because I saw this and it was a pound pricing, it was a UK pricing for it, but immediately I was like, oi there, I'm just a little orphan child, and then immediately you start adding like a British urchin voice to him, and you're like, yeah, that's
Beetlejuice Oliver is what you're trying to say. Beetlejuice
Please,
Oliver twist.
Please, sir.
May I have some more?
I want some more. Speaking about the juice being loose, here's sexy Beetlejuice.
Okay.
Thoughts on sexy Beetlejuice? What do we think about a sexy Beetlejuice? Let me get the name of this Beetlejuice, by the way, because of course this isn't a real Beetlejuice. No, this costume.
You have to. I need to know what is it? Is it Juice Woman or something? Like, what is the name of the character?
This one is Got the Juice. Got the Juice movie costume.
Got the Juice movie costume.
Got the Juice movie costume.
You know what it feels weirdly to me like is this is a background actress in Austin Powers in like the 70s.
Oh,
you know what I mean? Like this doesn't give me Beetlejuice at all. This gives me 70s Flower Child. Like this woman's on her way to Woodstock.
I think Melania looks great here. But then, see, this is what we're talking about again. Like this is it's full green. What the hell? What happened? What happened?
Frankie, what are you doing?
Oh, we don't appreciate cats interrupting the podcast. I'm sorry. This should be a professional podcast, and we clearly have ruined that.
Cat just broke. Just smash something.
Your cat's
Thanks, Frankie.
being. We're trying to talk about sexy Beetlejuice, Frankie. Can you
Right, get it together. Down? I think it might be the cravat.
The cravat is not going for it. I appreciate the leggings, I guess.
Yeah, or maybe this woman looks like a Coraline character from The Attic. You know,
okay.
like a Russian circus clown.
Okay,
you know, like it again. Like I'm being honest here. I'm getting no Beetlejuice from this. The hair is the wrong color.
It's the sexiest Beetlejuice I could
This was my favorite flavor Kool-Aid back in the day in the middle bottles. They had like this like ombre green, blue green.
Okay, yeah.
You remember? It's the same color as that hair. Same color as that hair. That's my favorite. Those little sugar bottles of plastic with you rip the top off.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. This isn't for me. This isn't for me.
I mean, hey, call me Beetlejuice. But let's talk about the last one here.
Okay.
This is more about name than it is about costume. But I think it's very important that you see this. For those who can't see, because this is a podcast, it is Juice Demon is the name of this costume. It's Juice Demon.
Right. For $29.99.
Coat, tie,
it includes
pants,
the coat,
collar pieces,
parentheses,
no
shirt.
hat, no wig. That's a big factor in a Beetlejuice costume, and you're gonna give me no wig? I don't know, but Juice Demon I appreciate.
It has a coat and pants and a tie.
Yeah, I mean it's a pretty decent costume in that sense. Though it looks
you could buy this and go to church, is what I'm saying, without the wig. Like if you took that guy's wig off,
Beetlejuice doesn't
he could go to church. It's a suit. It's a fully tailored suit.
He looks like Billy Idol the more I look at him, or like Billy Idol made love to what's the band I can't remember their name. Wake me up.
He looks like an early
December,
Star Trek villain is what he looks like to me.
He looks like Green Day had sex with Billy Idol is what he looks like. That's what I'm getting off this guy. But Beetlejuice doesn't have a tie unless he's getting married. This costume, this traditional costume. He doesn't have a Oh, you're right. He does.
He's got a tie. Even the cartoon character's got a tie. Yeah,
I forgot. Let's go back to traditional Beetlejuice. You are absolutely correct. I have totally forgot about tie Beetlejuice. Beetlejuice of cartoon
black
fame, of
tie
course.
Here, white
green, tie, purple shirt for some reason. I kind of wish they had pulled this in the new movie. I wish they had a purple variant at some point, just for the fans.
They do it on Broadway.
Oh, that's good. That's good. And speaking of Broadway, let's just go ahead and talk about Broadway.
Cool.
I don't know what I think about this show.
Have you seen it?
No.
Okay.
But what I get, maybe it's just, I'm trying to remember the actor's name. Alex something, right?
Alec Brightman?
Alec Brightman. I like Alec Brightman, but I feel like you need little stinker energy for Beetlejuice, and he gives me theater kid energy. And
right. Well,
I'm having trouble with it.
Right then and there, you're already exactly right, and that's exactly what's awesome about it. And what is challenging for others is that it is a Broadway musical, and so it's Broadway musical Beetlejuice. You know what I mean? Yeah. It is not little stinker Beetlejuice. It is, but it's stinker also Beetlejuice.
Not show tunes. It's not like it's not like old school show tunes.
Beetlejuice sings like 2.5 songs in the show. He is the narrator. He's not. Although he does a lot of incredible vocal work, and you have to have very strong. Beetlejuice, call me, hire me. I'd love to play the role on Broadway. Or on tour. But it's a completely different show. It's a completely different movie. Yeah. It's so different from the movie. And it's its own thing, but much like, I guess I could say, like reading the Harry Potter play, like if you don't go see it, it's a product of theater is an immersive product. It's like a theme park. You watch the POVs of a theme park ride and you think you have all the opinions, and then you ride the ride, you get off it, and you're like, okay, I had fun. Sure, that was it was all it needed to be.
I would have a blast. I'm sure I would have a blast.
Right.
It's in its own realm. And it's also like I like very specific Broadway sounds, and This fits into that
very modern
new era.
Broadway. Yep, it's very modern Broadway. Yep, especially the Lydia Dietz track of it all. The Sophia Ann Caruso was on her own little artistic journey with this album recording with a very nasally Lydia, and it's not how it's performed by anybody else. It's just her voice. It's her vocal performance.
Did you see it on Broadway, or where'd you see it?
Absolutely, 3 times. I loved it.
Whoa!
I've seen it once on tour, but I live up here, so if you like something, it's like. If I could get a season pass to Beetlejuice, I would have. You know what I mean? It's very different from the original movie, but in every way that it's different from the original movie, it is the same to the sequel. In that the sequel, Beetlejuice, literally is an adaptation in some ways of the musical back into film canon. Because the original movie was about a depressed girl sees ghosts, messes with her dad, all that kind of stuff. There wasn't a specific journey about Lydia trying to reconnect with her mother. It was more of like this sad, detached girl who was living in this space. And the musical...
Let's be clear, though. And this is a problem I have with Beetlejuice, and I think also the musical. The first movie, the main characters are the Maitlands. It's their movie. We watch it as children, and we think it's a movie about Lydia. And it's not.
Sure.
Which I think is perfectly fine. Because the cartoon 100% leans on Lydia. The musical and the sequel all do. Like everything else besides that. No one was like, give me that hot, like, I need a new Maitland toy. Like no one was like,
Right.
But I assume this is the same sort of scenario here where it's like, it's Lydia forward.
It's the Hannibal Lecter of it all, like Hannibal's in 11 minutes of the movie and he has 3 other films now, 4 and a TV show. You know what I mean? So
one of the best TV shows ever made. That's just put down the ballot. Right?
Really, really, really great TV show. I really like it too.
It's really good.
But the musical is very much, they lean heavily on Lydia and her relationship with her departed mother and like her journey of trying to find herself through reconnecting with and having a lot of very clear presence of dead mom energy. Like mom is dead and I am wallowing in that. And it's kind of like my personality. Movie Lydia is not dead mom wallowing. She's just like, an unusual girl, like
she
goth
says that.
Girl.
I'm just different. Yeah.
Right, exactly. So, but the sequel, Tim Burton saw the musical and was like, oh, I wish I would have thought of that. Let's just do it. And so the second movie, it very much is about Lydia's child on the same path of like, I missed what I had. I want to reconnect with what I had. Let me chase into the netherworld what I had. And very much the musical very heavily inspired the sequel. You can't separate them in my mind. They're very much alike.
Very interesting. Huh.
Yeah.
Did you always see it with Brightman in the role, or did you have variants that you
saw
it interesting?
Twice with Brightman, and I saw it once with his understudy, who I've seen perform several more times, and he's always amazing. I can't think of his name right now, but yeah, I saw it twice with Brightman. I saw it in previews.
Okay.
There's an incredible story about previews that I don't know if I'm allowed to tell, but I'll tell it to you, I guess, off camera.
Okay.
But it was an incredible story because I saw a specific performance of Beetlejuice that in the previews that something very interesting happened about the amount of F words that were used in the show. There are 3 F words in the musical. They say the F word 3 times. And Warner Brothers was like, you can't. We got to cut these. It's got to be PG-13.
It's a kid show now. It's a kid show. It's spooky kid show. Yeah. Not the problem. I'm just saying, like, ever since, like, you're never. I mean, what's weird is that you get 2. No, you get 1 in a bleep. What is that?
Yeah, 1 in a bleep.
That threw me. There's a bleep in a movie. It throws me. That can't like be a thing that'll exist. Is that simply to get a PG? No, it's PG-13 already.
Yeah, it's PG-13. No, I think it does exist, and I think that in the context of the movie, after watching it a second time, I think that it works because Beetlejuice is manipulating how we're watching the movie, including subtitles, diegetic movie film, and he's making those choices to deliver his jokes. And I think it's kind of, it's like a Jerry Springer moment when she busts in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so like, it's almost like Aladdin doing like, hey, you know, or whatever, you know, it's like a genie, sorry. You know, like it's that very, I felt like a pop culture, it felt like a drama television joke more than anything. So
that makes sense. Well, let's get into it. Let's talk about BJ2.
Beetlejuice.
Who he looks great. It's easy to look like a corpse. You get older.
Yeah. He looks more like a corpse than he ever has before.
It's perfect.
It's
perfect.
incredible. Really opening up the door to a lot of like the old men who now play him in Universal, because in the parks it's usually played by older dudes and not like a guy fresh out of college who's like on like an acting journey. You know,
the juice is loose over here, kids. Come see me.
Right, just the original Beetlejuice had a very specific kind of young man's energy though to it, like that coked up kind of like insanity.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like early Robin Williams sort of like
he's gotten lazier.
Right. Yeah, he is a lot slower now.
Yeah.
But and with that in mind too, like Beetlejuice is clearly aged. The Maitlands could have I won't hyperfixate on it, but just to say that, you know, the juice is different, you know, but he's a different juice. Can we talk about?
But he's loose. He's loose for sure.
He's loose.
We can all agree the best thing that came out of Beetlejuice was the fact that the term "the juice is loose" is like we're all just saying it now.
Right. Oh my gosh! I just realized something about the movie.
Yes.
I think the movie canonizes the cartoon show. With this one piece of information, Justin Theroux, the Alec Baldwin Cat in the Hat character.
We'll talk more about Justin Theroux.
But like this very specific trope of a character, he says Beetlejuice 3 times.
Yes.
Summons the juice. And then Lydia says home, home, home 3 times, taking her out of the netherworld and putting her back in to the home, the Maitland's house.
Yes.
That doesn't happen in the movie. That happens in the cartoon show.
Interesting.
I'm pretty sure that happens in the cartoon.
At least it's an ode to it, for sure.
Right, it's definitely a nod to it.
Yeah. What'd you think? Let's get the big kind of like I
liked it. I thought it was so good. I thought all the CGI was mostly seamless. I loved the way it was used. I loved all of the practical effects, all of the practical costumes. It was really great. It's like the first Men in Black movie, like walking through that lobby sequence with all those practical aliens. You know, it's just a very tangible. You know, like
there's
like,
money
you know,
on the screen. You can feel it.
Easily, like a lot of shots were done in camera is what it feels like, you know, like which I am living for.
Well,
get the shot in camera, put up the contrast and send it to print, you know.
Yeah, when they have like that frozen Willem Dafoe, you're like, that's an actual frozen Willem Dafoe like model.
It sure
was.
Yeah,
it truly was.
Yeah, a 3D printed one. They pooped it right out.
I love it. Here's what I'll say. I gave this a solid 3 out of 5, but I would say I gave it a 3 out of 5 because I also gave the first one a 3 out of 5. Because
right, you think that they're both okay movies.
I think that they are both in different ways movies. I think the first one's slightly better, but I think they're both movies about chaos, and in many ways they are chaotic enough that they're entertaining. But if you sit too long and you think about either one, I don't. And it's not even a CinemaSins unraveling of plot. What I'm talking about is the pacing of both is a little rough. Both have big third act problems in the sense that everything just gets rushed. It's just like, we're done. We're out of ideas. We're done. Like, we're done. And I think that I enjoy the whole Deo sequence in the new one, but I also sort of feel like, okay, I guess you had to do it. But right.
It goes on twice as long as it should, I think.
100%. And it's that kind of thing. It's just like,
yeah, people think that the entire Deo song is in the Beetlejuice movie. It's not. Like 15 seconds of it is. You know what I mean? Like, you know,
it's so entertaining and wild. I think it's probably 30, but yeah, it
but
goes
like
fast.
we live in the era of drag queens now and lip sync for your life. And so like that whole, like, which totally benefited from Beetlejuice, by the way, like the whole comedic, like over the top lip sync.
Yeah.
Beetlejuice helped, you know, propel that, like, as you know,
Totally.
like Andy Kaufman and, you know, and all of it, you know, just the comedy of it all.
We think of it too as like a Beetlejuice gag, and it's like, no, it was a Maitland thing. Like, it's weird. Like you watch it in the first movie, and it's like, it's actually a failed experiment. Like, it didn't work. Like, it's this, but we latched onto it because it's really funny, and like Dick Cavett like shakes his hips, and we love it.
Yeah. I think that the first movie had a lot of like what Harry Potter has and like the mechanics of the world, a lot of like mechanical world building. Like, here's how the afterlife works.
Yeah.
And this movie, it's like, okay, we'll just use the world they built and do nothing else. Let's not, you know, like, oh, there's a soul sucker. Let's not explain that.
Nope.
At all. You know what I mean? There's the soul train.
Soul Train.
You know?
Well, I love the Soul Train joke because I'm an 80-year-old man in a 36-year-old body.
Yeah, the Soul Train joke is great.
Who is this Soul Train joke for? Like, in 2024, where everyone's it's a very
Train. Like it's a very 90s SNL movie joke. You know what I mean? Like, it's an Austin Powers like yes. Or like the Ladies Man type of movie joke. You know what I mean? But like that's kind of where it just, in a lot of ways, this movie felt like, and like the original one, Tim Burton just having fun.
Yes.
It's like Tim Burton is just like, all right, Tim, go ahead and do it, you know. And he went in there and he was weird, and he was like, he did a lot of weird stuff, but like it all landed because that's what it was to begin with, you know, in a lot of ways. Like, it lands in the okay space, like you say. It's a tolerable thing that's like, oh yeah, this will be a great another Halloween movie, you know. It's better than Hocus Pocus 2. Oh, you know, like it's you know,
better than Hocus Pocus. I don't like Hocus.
Right, not better than Sister Act 2, though. Let me just say,
sure.
I'm
another
a
classic Halloween movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just out of nowhere, we're like, Sister Act
I'm just saying a needless sequel is where I was going with that, you know, like we had a perfect original, you know, and like,
what's the point?
Like Jaws 2.
It's here's what I would say. I would say that Beetlejuice does not really have it. It's so fun to hang out with Michael Keaton and Catherine O'Hara, who are such MVPs in this movie. Like, I can feel the weight on their back of carrying the whole like the whole thing is just going.
Bizarrely not Winona Ryder.
No. And it's not really her fault, but not really what's her face?
Right.
Everyone loves her.
It doesn't feel like Lydia grew up. It feels like Lydia got stunted due to the trauma of Beetlejuice.
Yes.
And like, that's okay, but let's explore that.
I think
instead
it's
of like,
not okay. I'm so
I'm saying, like, it's okay if that's what you want to do, but like, explore that and don't like make her.
I feel like every legacy sequel now is like, oh, don't worry, your main character, all that's happened is they're sad. Like, there's like Luke Skywalker's now sad. And here's what's weird. I liked that because it was so new, but there is this idea of like, well, no, it's not so hot. And all they do is get their mojo back. The whole idea is they'll get their mojo back. Like, that's the whole movie.
Yeah. Right.
And do you want to know, here's what I think is interesting. Besides Michael Keaton and Catherine O'Hara, would you like to take a guess? Ooh, I'm going to give Willem Dafoe like an honorary here for deciding he's going to just go balls out. And just
right. Well, he kind of took that like Otho kind of place, like that character who just eats the scenery.
Glenn Shaddix is Otho. We needed a gay in this movie, and we didn't have one.
We so needed it. And I was expecting like Otho's brother to show up any minute, or like Otho's spiritual advisor, or I was expecting it.
I know he's
or
dead,
just Otho.
but people are dead. Clearly in this movie, people are dead.
Yeah, you also could have done like an electrocuted Otho. It's like some kind of like gag Otho, you know, like roadkill Otho or flattened Otho or whatever.
Who's at the end is like, you know, oh, I see what's going. By the way,
feels so bizarrely there's an honoring of the dead kind of thing though with that, like with these productions, and the Rogue One of it all, I feel like is really right now, because that didn't like the Moff-Tar or whatever. I don't know.
Tarkin?
His
buddy?
family's
No, his
suing,
family's
or
fine
buddy.
with it.
His buddy's suing. His buddy's suing.
His buddy who thought he had the rights to Peter Cushing's
Oh,
likeness.
shucks.
Yeah.
I thought I had the rights to this.
I thought I owned a man's visage.
Right.
So for me, side note, we must admit and give a high five up to the world for Glenn Shaddix, known as Otho, for also being in the Space Mountain pre-show videos. I don't know if people remember that,
he was in those.
He was in Space Mountain as I think a designer or something of new outfits. I can't remember exactly what he did, but yeah, man.
So great.
Glenn Shaddix. No, for me, it goes to Arthur Conti as Jeremy. Arthur Conti, I don't know what he had just this cool vibe as the love interest. We won't get into spoilers, but as the love interest, that I was like, I'm not sure like the role is that interesting, but I was like, what is this guy's doing? I kind of like this.
He did it very, very. He was very swarmy, like Stranger Things boy. He like really captured that. Like there's a lot of weird. Okay, did we have to make Jenna Ortega at an all girls school? Like being the alt girl.
I literally got confused.
Is this a scene from Wednesday? In a weird way, like I said, this movie feels very derivative for Tim Burton. Like it feels like a lot of the decisions you could be like, oh, here's where old man Timmy saw this, was like, oh, that's my idea. I made this. I get it. It's fine, man. It's fine. Or whoever wrote this.
Putting his girlfriend in the movie derivative. For no good reason.
Who's his girlfriend?
Monica Bellucci or Monica. Yeah. Oh, this is news to you.
What?
Yeah.
What? Tim Burton's pulling that?
Yeah.
Holy smokes, man.
I know. Yeah, Tim Burton's just like, Helena
the sexy
Bonham
Matrix
Carter
lady.
Yeah.
Married to a ghoul, Tim Burton.
Not married, just dating.
Oh, they're dating?
Just dating, but he certainly put his girlfriend in a movie. Because there is no, and I need to repeat this to be very clear, there's no reason for that character to be in this movie.
Dude, that makes me so upset.
Yeah, because I gave you rationalization for why it doesn't make sense that she's in the movie.
Yeah, why this thing? Yeah. This useless thing.
Yeah.
This like Indiana Jones woman in that stored in many crates. I wanted to post credits.
She's 59. Like it's not like he's not like rocking the cradle here. Like
no, I'm just saying that she's a very talented, beautiful woman, and he's a ghoul. He's Albert Einstein's like underfed cousin. You know what I mean? Like he's like
Edward Scissorhands. I mean, he literally is.
Yeah, he's become Edward Scissorhands. He's become the old man who makes Edward Scissorhands.
He hangs out with Danny DeVito to look less like ghouly.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? Yeah. It's not a spoiler. Shout out to my boy, Danny, for just showing up and being there.
Double D.
I'm very happy when a Double D shows up in anything. But here's what I love. We got a movie. We had another Tim Burton movie where Danny DeVito got to sort of just spit nasty stuff out of his mouth. Just kind of go, bleh. And like, we love a penguin. We stand a penguin.
Right.
We stand a nasty. Look, I love Colin Farrell. I'm very excited for your show, and I love a fat mob penguin. But you give me this nasty DeVito.
Just saying, derivative.
Derivative though.
Like Tim Burton's already done it before. Yep. Like I would actually love to take. That's another good video essay. Number 3 of the video is
derivative.
The diveration of Beetlejuice. The divination. What's the derivative?
The derivination.
The derivination. I don't know.
Welcome to Derivination. Yeah, so that's why Monica Bellucci.
There's just a lot of like weird, like there's a puddle on the floor. Where does the puddle come from? Give me 7. I edit videos all the time. Give me 7 to 8 seconds of an establishing shot of like the guy falling down the sewer hole and like landing on something that unplugs a freezer or something. I don't know. Just give me like.
Yeah, I forgot about the puddle guy. I forgot about the guy that falls in the thing. He like was important until he wasn't important.
Well, he was important. He was a transition piece. He was literally a human transition is what he was.
That's weird.
Yeah, but like there are these like I said, there are remnants of what it feels like the movie was prior to a rewrite and a rewrite. And like I like the skeleton of, and oh my god, am I entering that era of like where I finally become so cynical that I can't see joy in things? No, I did like the movie. I like the movie a lot.
No,
like
it's
I said,
fun.
The crucifix bursting into flames was hilarious to me. It was hilarious.
It feels, let me put it like this. It feels like a classic sequel. Do you know what I mean? It feels like
Jurassic Park 2.
Yeah. It feels like we don't have anything new. It's a little messy.
Right.
But it's like, it is a thing.
Has some gymnastics.
Right. And now they're like,
one?
oh, well, the sequel is actually chapter 2 of the 10 picture over story of, character. And it's like, no, I just want a sequel, It's a real, it's a classic sequel in that way. It's not trying to do too much. I just realized
how Jurassic Park 2 is essentially a Simone Biles prequel.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, yeah. that's kicks a raptor in the head.
I'm just saying that, like, if someone had thought of that right before the Olympics,
pretty great. It's a good
I
call.
love Jurassic Park 2, by the way. Julianne Moore.
That movie sucks so bad. I hate that movie.
What?
Sorry. We'll talk about that in the Jurassic Park episode.
Raptors.
I don't want them to defeat raptors.
Using the power of gymnastics.
I like 3. I don't.
Three's great.
I hate the third act of 3 because the movie's like 90 minutes. Then it's like peace out. But I like Sam Neill. I like a raptor going Alan. I like that. So it works for me, and it does new things. All right. So we kind of talked about. I think that we're on the same kind of level here of like, hey, do you want to have a good fun time with Michael Keaton in the movie theater? Go see Beetlejuice.
Right.
If you don't care that much, if you care about, like, I don't know, Beetlejuice, like, it's the series that feels like it shouldn't care about itself, and I'm kind of glad it doesn't. Like, it's so kind of haphazard.
Yeah.
That, like, all right, whatever.
Right. Bizarrely, like the Muppets in that way.
Yeah. Well, Beetlejuice kind of falls in that realm a little bit, and like know what?
Like also surprisingly works really well in a theme park like the Muppets.
Yep. Yep. Except Universal actually uses them.
We have Dark Universe over at Epic Universe. I would really love to see Beetlejuice represented there in some capacity, like a Beetlejuice restaurant. Like I know it's not. But like,
what I want
he's
is
so
him...
iconic to the lore of the park, like Dreamfinder or Orangeburg, like with Beetlejuice and the Monsters.
Yeah,
like
I want him right outside. I want him to be like, they won't let me in. I'm
right,
not allowed in there.
Beetlejuice's hot dog cart.
Yeah, that's all they'll give me.
Yeah, or it's like it's like a rotted lemonade stand, like at the carnival, like a booth that's shaped like a lemonade. And it's the guy in there is Beetlejuice. He's like, yeah, they won't let me in. You gotta get your overpriced lemonade.
Don't worry
here.
about it. It ain't piss. It's not.
Right.
Not piss. I can guarantee you it's
Beetlejuice.
Not piss.
It's my Beetlejuice.
It's my Beetlejuice. It's my juice. Not piss. That's it. It's like, can't go in there.
Oh, you know what? Would actually be hilarious is if a combination Beetlejuice dunk tank lemonade stand with a bunch of tubes that come out of the dunk tank that look like it's like feeding into all of the juice dispensers. So you get a free juice if you dunk the juice, but otherwise you throw this is yellow shoes, or the equivalent of that at Universal. Call me. That's what I want.
Black and white shoes. That's what there are.
Black and white shoes.
Beetlejuice, baby.
Great. I had a fun, and we didn't talk at all about the Beetlejuice Minions, aka the Shrunken Head Gang. Which is
we already know that they beta meet and greet at an experience that should have been in the parks already. It will definitely be at Universal before like tomorrow.
Sure.
Bob and the gang.
Yeah, the fact that again Tim Burton saw Minions and was like,
maybe
they have a evil overlord. They all speak in weird sounds. They have single like simple names.
Do you know when he
Some
took
of them
out
have the same names as Minions, and they're yellow.
You know what? If he had, I was very upset though that like, what's her name? Oh, Tim Burton's girlfriend pulls out the strings on one of them. No, it's Willem Dafoe's character. And it's like, talk. And I was like, yay! They're gonna have like
no. It's Neeson. When she soul sucks him.
Right. And I'm like, Liam Neeson or someone's gonna voice Bob, and it's gonna be like, oh, no, it's gonna be down here, and it's gonna be very, it's gonna be very funny. And then I was like, miss joke. It's like
huge
you could have called anybody. You could have called anybody.
Well, you established what it had to be. It would have to be like a really weird, tiny sounding voice because that's you hear Beetlejuice talk.
Oh, there's no rules. It's Beetlejuice coming out here with your canon.
All right. I feel like you hear him scream a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit. So they should be in the parks ASAP. No doubt.
So funny.
I think that's a good walk around. Should hang out.
A great parade character.
Should hang out and get just constantly belittled by Beetlejuice. The whole they should just hang out. Bob gets to be the straight man.
Can we say that completely unresolved thread in the film? That all the Bobs are out, all the Minions are out.
No one comes back. That's totally right.
No one collects them. Not even like a post-credit scene of like the cops, the Super Trooper cops, gathering up.
Well, again, that's because Tim
Burton's all Super Troopers.
They're going to go to Universal Studios. That's where they're going, man.
Right.
They're on their way.
Hilarious tie-in. Where is it? I would have loved it.
They're on their way. We said we're going to talk about Justin Theroux, and I think we should. I like Rory in the sense that he's a dirtbag, and done in that very liberal-esque, squishy heart sort of way, which we don't get to see enough of.
Yes.
I think it's a good sleaze that I don't think it's in some ways the direct opposite of Beetlejuice,
right?
But almost
worse.
Because he won't tell you why he's a dirtbag. Like
I said, he's like a cousin of Alec Baldwin from Cat in the Hat. Like he is like that inauthentic. And it takes the anti-hero of the film to reveal what he actually is, because the Cat in the Hat saves the mom, there's a saving Mr. Banks situation with Cat in the Hat. You know what I mean? Like the cat steps in. He doesn't just save the kids.
Saving Mr. Banks.
In the book, he just saves the kids.
Right. But in the movie,
I think that the mom is happily married. It's a family in the book, I think. It's not just a single mother. But in the movie, the cat comes in and saves the mom. You know what I mean? Not just the kids.
Are people trying to save that movie? I feel like there's a generation that have decided that we're going to be okay with Mike Myers as Cat in the Hat. It
is one of the greatest pieces of film ever made.
It's like postmodern.
You can make cupcakes out of anything. It's incredible. It's one of the greatest pieces of film ever.
Oh my god!
It was so ahead of its time. We are literally making movies like that today, and oh my gosh. And it's so sad that it murdered the live action. Although we do have this really great, I love the Illumination Sue stuff. Yeah, but this isn't a Dr. Seuss episode. Hey, what are you doing for fun?
What am I doing for fun? I wanted to leave you with this little... I don't know who Clive was. I think Clive was one of the Shrunken Heads, maybe?
Yeah.
He's got a voice, but the body actor was Mark Heehan, who is known for playing Tinky Winky. So we're just,
Wow.
Add your little Teletubbies in there. So you have a Teletubby in that movie. Traditional Tinky Winky.
Wow.
He also was additional crew in the Britney Spears movie Crossroads. So this man has lived a life. So good for him.
Wow, he really has.
Really has lived a life.
I love how you saw his film credit as Tinky Winky, and you're like, I wonder if he was in the giant oversized walk-around character. Was Clive one of the giant oversized walk-around characters? Because this guy has a career of being in giant oversized walk-around characters.
I assume he must be. I don't think he was the priest,
No. The priest.
Oh, yeah.
CGI lips.
CGI lips?
Unwell.
My man, Vern Gorman, I think he's German. I'm looking him up right now. He was born in L.A. I've never seen a man that looked more German in my life. Yeah, he plays Germans all the time.
CGI lips.
No, he just got the
his lip sync. His lip sync.
Oh, I hadn't thought about that. I think you might be right on that
CGI
one.
lips. CGI lips. Henry Cavill CGI lips,
Couldn't
baby.
do it, huh?
It is uncanny valley for me. It's when you see it when you finally watch it at home later on your 4-inch iPhone or whatever, it's gonna look rough. You know how people watch media now.
I watch it in TikTok form only. So.
Yeah. As you're watching it on an airplane like it was intended or whatever.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. And by the way, I don't know his name like out of thin air. Like I had IMDb up. I'm not that cool. What am I doing for fun? I'm not having a lot of fun recently.
You have a thing in the script?
Do I? Let me look.
Yeah, Pikmin 4.
I have been playing Pikmin 4. Yes.
Wait, excuse me. What did you say?
Pikmin.
Pikmin?
Yeah. Pikmin's World?
Pikmin.
It's not.
Yeah, Pikmin 4.
Pikmin.
Not what did you say?
Pikmin?
Pikmin. Like you peek them up. Like I'm going to peek you up.
You pick them up.
No, if it was Pikmin,
you don't peek
if it was
at them.
Pikmin, there'd be a C. If it was Pikmin, it would be a C.
They go like Pikmin. I don't know. Anyway, way to throw me. I'm
using like a K from Kaleidoscope when I say.
Have you played a Pikmin?
Have I played it, baby? I have a very strong stance on how it's pronounced.
Oh.
Of course, I've played it.
Okay.
I will say that I was an original franchise. I was an early GameCube Pikmin adopter. I was a huge GameCube enthusiast.
I came to it late, but I bought all of them in the last 2 months, and I've played all 3 of them. I'm up to 4. I'm very happy. First of all, it's a series that did a very good job of evolving over time and understanding what it needed to do. And I love those little dudes, man. They're little freaks. Wait, I got this in Japan at the Nintendo store. It's my little Pikmin diorama. Let's see if I can put that up there so everyone can see my little Pikmins. There you go. Pikmin in a bottle. Fighting one of those.
Also, just Nintendo minions. Just FYI.
Yeah. But we love them. But they were before Minions, so it doesn't count. Their minions are Pikmin. But they're little rascals, and we love them. And God bless Nintendo for not overusing them, because you could imagine. But I do love that they are in Nintendo Land. If you go to Universal's Nintendo World Land, yes, they're around. You have to seek them out. But they're hidden around.
Yeah. But they're smaller.
Yeah, they're
not like Koopa, like animatronic size. They're
they're just tiny little guys doing their thing.
Gotcha.
So
cool.
I love that they call it Dandori or whatever. The vibe of sort of just, I listen to podcasts or whatever, and I just collect things and hang out and,
deal with the Bulbasaurs.
Deal with all the Bulbasaurs and all of the Pikachus and everything that's in Pikmin. So
right,
yeah, that's what I'm having fun with and still am. You? There's nothing on the script for you. Do you have fun anymore?
I am having fun. I have discovered. Well, I'm very deep into it at this point. Make It Miniverse resin craft kits.
Okay.
And they have a Lord of the Rings one where you can literally forge swords and rings and stuff. They have a Harry Potter set, which I'm a huge fan of. About to crack into them. But what I like to do with them is they give you instructions on how to do them nicely. And what I like to do with them is shenanigans. So let me give you an example here. Let me give you here's a little box.
Yes.
Spilled slushy.
Nice.
Okay? Spilled Starbucks order.
Very nice. I love a spilled
Kool-Aid.
Yes.
Spilled alphabet soup. And as a bonus, it says, "Oh no." And my most recent addition, spilled breakfast cereal.
Very nice.
So I take them and make them look spilled, and that's what I've been doing. I think I should make TikToks.
Sure, man.
Because they're fun, and people love that kind of tactile stuff. But these are all my spilled creations. I made Hi Dad soup.
fun.
from Goofy Movie. Or you could say
Yeah.
Hi Dad Soup.
Hi, Dad.
Yeah,
Soup.
so these are they're like realistic looking foods.
Yeah, man. That's fun.
They're dumb little diorama things, but you make them yourself. I have like a nice high powered black light. It cures the resin instantly. They're super fun. Make it Miniverse, baby. Get out to your Target or Walmarts.
All right. That sounds good. I love
That's
it.
what I'm doing for fun.
Do we have links?
Well,
or
this has been a fun episode.
Yeah.
Do we have links?
Yeah. You can hear us or see us. So do both.
Yeah. If you're listening to us, there's a link for the YouTube in the description, hopefully. And if you're watching us, there's a link to the audio in the description of the video. Yeah. So, and if you head over to the DisneyDan.com, there's links to all three of the things on my link tree that you get right to when you go to the DisneyDan.com.
And just put this episod on repeat while you go to sleep and put it on mute.
Right.
And let's
and as an experiment, we haven't said anything yet, but I have an Instagram handle at FunFunFunPod. So if you're listening to this, go follow that. And also, if you're listening to this, go leave a review, I guess, somewhere. Go put stars somewhere. A couple of you are doing it. It's great. I appreciate it.
We appreciate it. Yeah.
And also, I read all of your comments, so leave comments. I love hearing what you think about the stupid things I think. All right, I'm going to bed now.
Sounds good.
I was just at Hershey Park Dark Nights last night.
Ooh.
And so
was it
then
extra
I spent
dark?
all day at
Chocolate?
Jim Thorpe. It was extra dark. It was.
Busy guy. But now you get to sleep. Think of Beetlejuice. Think of me, babe. Think of the Beetle. Think of the juice.
You do a good one. You do a good one.
I do my best. This has been a production of 710 Media.